Hey, what's going on? Mr. P here, and on today's episode of Cup of Tea with Mr. P, we're going to talk about how Adam Gontier of 3 Days Grace might be a bit out of touch. Stay tuned. All right, I know that's a bit of a clickbaity way to title a video and say at the beginning, but is it? So before I get into this isn't meant to be a slam against 3 Days Grace or Adam Gontier. I love everything Adam has done, from 3 Days Grace to Saint Asonia, his solo and his guest spots, but this interview really raised an eyebrow for me. So a few days ago, St. Paul, Minneapolis, Minnesota radio station 93X posted an interview clip with DJ Lindsay Marie that's gotten a bit of traction online by way of one of the questions that she asked Adam. So sites have been reporting everything from Adam not being worried about AI to not thinking that legit artists have anything to worry about. And I read this, saw the comments on various posts, which, because 3 Days Grace is a successful mainstream rock band, of course, meant that comments would be a ridiculous dumpster fire of hate. I had my own, different take on this. Before we look at the actual interview clip and get my thoughts as to why I think Adam is so out of touch with things, come on, you knew this was coming. Do me a quick favor and hit that like and subscribe button below, because the algorithm has gotten even crazier for 2026. So do me a favor, help me out. Those buttons down there. You can do it. I believe in you. Thank you, thank you. So let's take a watch of this interview clip from 93X of what Adam had to say about AI music in today's climate.
I'm so sad that AI music is succeeding in these streaming spaces, because I'm like, oh, I thought what we did was meaningful. What is this
Yeah,
trash? Like, it's really insulting to the artistic progress.
for sure. Yeah, I think it is. I think if you're legit an artist, I don't think there's a lot to be worried about. I think people, it. I guess it's like the imperfections that happen in when you're creating music and the live show and all the imperfections are what makes it really special and makes it actual art. So if everything's perfect, if every I don't know, if every lyric and every melody is perfect, and then it's just not real. So I think people will see through that. I don't think there's too much to be worried about.
Okay, sorry, Adam. I love you, but I think you're a little bit out of touch here, and I'm going to pick apart what you had to say to explain exactly why it is that I think this.
I think it is. I think if you're legit an artist, I don't think there's a lot to be worried about.
Okay, Adam, if that's the case, explain the continued success of pop music over like forever. Tons of artists who are singing and performing music by studio musicians and professional songwriters. You know how weird it is that the public will listen to a song by a female pop artist that's written by like a middle-aged dude? So are we going to call these people legitimate artists just because they have the talent of being able to translate someone else's music and words in a way that the original writers either weren't or couldn't be successful with because they weren't considered marketable looking?
I guess it's like the imperfections that happen in when you're creating music and the live show and all the imperfections are what makes it really special and makes it actual art.
Okay, that's a nice notion and all, but that's a romanticized thought in this day and age. The imperfections are not happening on record anymore. Period. Come on. You've done how many albums and guest spots now? Are you telling me that you would, or a producer, would allow you to keep a vocal take or part that wasn't near perfect? Especially Howard Benson. Don't get me wrong, his recordings sound absolutely phenomenal, but there are people who also don't like him because they feel like he sucks the soul out of an artist's recordings in the name of perfection. What's that studios like to push with drum recordings? Quantize, quantize, you know what it is. Making sure that all those drums are perfectly in line. And then there's the live show. Again, where we are now, live bands have to be perfect live. It's not like the 90s where bands could go out there and be an absolute train wreck live. Some of the most popular and celebrated bands of the 90s, like Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, Smashing Pumpkins, Candlebox, Hole, Screaming Trees, name a handful, would go up there and would very often be a total mess, not just musically, but vocally as well. I mean, more off nights than on, and some would even try to cover for it and say, oh, it's about the emotion and the intensity of a live performance. Yeah, that crap wouldn't fly nowadays. If those bands were to somehow get signed today, sure, the albums might sell, but as far as their live performances, they would get ripped apart for those imperfections that make it actual art. The fact is, people go to a live show and they get mad when those imperfections are present. They go online and they comment how the band was bad or that they were off, maybe having a bad night, but they would never see them again. All because they didn't sound near perfect like they do on their recordings. Now, as far as 3 Days Grace Live is concerned, they don't really have much to worry about. Now, I haven't personally seen them live in quite some time because they haven't actually come and played a show in the South Florida area since 2013. And before that, 2008, where I incidentally interviewed Adam for a publication and a radio station. But from what I've seen of concerts posted online, the live sets are primarily comprised of songs that they've been playing for a long time and not so much of the new material. So they're already super tight as a live band.
So if everything's perfect, if every lyric and every melody is perfect, and then it's just not real. So I think people will see through that. I don't think there's too much to be worried about,
Again, I don't want to circle back to pop music. So instead, I'm going to bring up an example a friend of mine sent me a few days ago. So he sends me this link to check out this hard rock band on Spotify. Not saying the name because I don't want to give them more streams, but if you're curious, leave a comment and I'll respond. I was like, okay, it sounds like someone mashed Hailstorm and Daughtry together. That's when he tells me that it's an AI artist created for streaming. So why am I bringing this up? Because before he told me that, I thought the recording sounded decent, but the production on the vocals could use some work. They had some imperfections to them, a bit of a production crackle. Something just seemed a little off. And it wasn't an autocorrect kind of thing either. Most of the AI-generated music that I've heard over the past few months has actually sounded pretty good. But I was really surprised to find that this was actually AI music. That means that AI is getting really good at even making these little imperfections and make a recording sound like it may be an actual human being. We really are going to get to that point where people aren't going to be able to tell a difference soon. Now, 3 Days Grace is a band with a 23-year career now. The fact that they still sell albums, which is a feat in its own, or still selling out arenas and headlining big festivals is attributed to a few things. One, Adam is back in the band and people want to hear those old hits with Adam on vocals. And I think that some people didn't realize he was even gone to begin with, since the band has maintained a presence on radio, not just with the old hits, but with new singles over the years and major tours and festival appearances. So no, Adam is a bit out of touch to think that artists don't have anything to worry about. Maybe he and 3 Days Grace, an established pre-AI and streaming taking over the musical landscape, don't have much to worry about kind of band, but as far as new artists are concerned, however, I am curious. There are already versions of Matt Walsh era songs with AI Adam vocals that people think sound pretty incredible. How long until there are AI-generated original songs that are posted and sound like new 3 Days Grace on streaming services? Would Adam's opinion change then? Again, this isn't a slam on Adam. I just think he might have a little too much faith in the general music listening public. At the end of the day, people don't care for authenticity. They just want to hear a good song. Hence, once again, the popularity of pop music. So yeah, there we go. My hot take on Adam's comments on not having to worry about AI ruining the musical climate. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Think I'm a moron and Adam's so totally freaking right? Drop a comment below and let me know what you think. I'd love to get an actual real discussion about this going. While you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button to keep up with my rant series you're currently watching, gear reviews, my tone matching series where I use real amps, no digital plugins. That's it for now. I'm Mr. P and I'll see you next time.